Day 19. Balthazar and Wayne the camel were waiting at the edge of the market. Wayne was laden with rolls of smart wrapping paper, the kind with a grid printed on the back to help you cut it in straight lines, packs of sparkly tissue paper, 3D snowflake gift tags, and even gold-coloured sticky tape, so that every aspect of the gift's wrapping could be decorative. Balthazar sighed and glanced at the nearest sundial. He'd been expecting Caspar and Melchior to arrive a while ago. He hoped that Caspar hadn't started one of his lectures. Sometimes it was quite impossible to get him to shift when he was mid-monologue. Just then he heard two camels bellowing at each other in the distance. Balthazar turned to see his fellow magi. Wayne was instantly able to tell that Gary and Kevin the camels were giggling about something. However, to human ears, camel giggling sounded rather more like groaning, so Balthazar asked in a concerned voice, "Is everything quite all right with the camels?" "No, everything is not all right. They are horrid, gluttonous, selfish beasts. Why couldn't we have donkeys instead?" wailed Caspar. "Camels are fine," said Melchior firmly. "We just got a little held up when we came to leaving because Caspar wasn't quite tidy enough with his things." Caspar was about to retort to this, but was interrupted by more camel bellowing. Gary and Kevin had just recounted the tale of the munched-up letter to Wayne, and he found it simply hilarious. Balthazar, mistaking Wayne's mirth for irritation, said, "Gosh, those camels are getting rather anxious to get off. We'd better make a move." The Magi travelled in a rather strained silence for a few hours, and after a while, though, Caspar couldn't keep quiet any longer, so he began to shout, out loud a sustained examination of the advantages of donkeys over camels as a mode of transport. "Don't listen to him," whispered Balthazar in the ear of Wayne the camel. "Soon we'll be at the next inns. That's where we've ordered the bag of camel treats to be sent." "I think I heard some mournful sounding bleating just then," said Melchior suddenly. "Really, Melchior, I know Caspar can be annoying, but it's really no way to talk about his speeches." "No, listen," insisted Melchior. Melchior and Caspar shushed Caspar and then listened intently. They heard a rustling in a nearby bush, and then suddenly on the path in front of them appeared a mildly sorrowful-looking sheep. It baaed at the Magi and then looked round in a bewildered fashion. "I think it's lost. We have to rescue it," declared Melchior. "Rescue it? How, exactly?" said Balthazar. "We can't really take it back to the east with us. I think we should take it to the nearest place on the map. Hopefully we'll reunite it with the rest of its flock there." Melchior hopped down from his camel and set about trying to attach a rope to the sheep to lead it with. Caspar continued muttering about how disruptive animals are to the pursuit of wisdom, while Balthazar consulted with the map in an attempt to work out just how badly lost the sheep was. The scale of the map was 1 to 74,000. The Magi had travelled 3.7 kilometres when they neared the next town, and they were met by an indignant shepherd boy exclaiming, "My sheep! Thank goodness you found her!" How many centimetres on the map had they moved? Right. So, 1 to 74,000. That means 1 centimetre on the map equals 74,000 centimetres in real life. Now, you'd never measure a distance like that in centimetres. So let's work out what that is in kilometres. So we go centimetres, decimetres, metres, decametres, hectometres, kilometres. So 1 centimetre equals 0.74 kilometres. Now, that kilometres, hectometres, decametres, metres, decimetres, centimetres, millimetres. You've got to learn it. Scales and things always turns up one way or another. Just learn it. The way to remember it is many children dread mother dropping her knickers. Or, if that was G for grams, many children dread granny dropping her knickers. Well, you would, wouldn't you? And less grammatically elegant, many children dread lady dropping her knickers. Now these, the ones with the little ones, those are all bits of a metre, and these are all multiples of a metre. So let's start off with our metre, which is about that long, and you can't see that, can you? So that solves that problem. That is 1/10 of a metre. That is 1/10 of a decimetre, and that is 1/10 of a centimetre. In other words, 10 of those make one of those. 10 of these make one of these. 10 of these make a metre. Millimetres, centimetres, decimetres, metres. Decametres, 10 of those, 10 metres make a decametre. 10 decametres makes a hectometre. 10 hectometres makes a kilometre, hence the decimal system. It's good, isn't it? So, where do we know? Millennium has got 1,000 years. There are 1,000 millimetres in a metre. A century, centimetres, century's got 100 years. Centimetre, there's 100 of these in there. The Romans, if they decimated a village, they killed every 10th person. It's a 10th of a metre. A decade, a decametre, has got 10 years in it. So it's a decametre, has got 10 metres. A hectometre, a hectare, is a unit of land 100 metres by 100 metres. And then 1,000 metres would be 10 lots of that. Happy? So, having learnt that, this was centimetres, and I know that I wanted to change it to kilometres. So I went centimetres, decimetres, metres, decametres, hectometres, kilometres. Now, if you're a bit rubbish at remembering that, many children dread mother dropping her knickers, and then you go centimetres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you move it across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy so far? Now, that's not helping because we needed to find out what was it? 3.7 kilometres is. So I'm just going to multiply both sides by 10. We can do what we like to this, so long as we do the same to both sides. So 10 centimetres equals 7.4 kilometres. I should have put kilometres there, shouldn't I? Ah, look, if I halve that, that equals 3.7, doesn't it? So if I halve that side, I have to halve that side. So 5 centimetres equals 3.7 kilometres. So there's our answer. Right. Millimetres, centimetres, decimetres, metres, decametres, hectometres, kilometres. We found 1 centimetre was that many centimetres in real life, because that's what it means. Any unit, 1 bogey equals 74,000 bogeys. Then we moved the decimal point in. 1, we went centimetres, decimetres, metres, decametres, hectometres, kilometres. So 1 centimetre equals 0.74 kilometres. Multiplied that by 10 because that made me feel better. 10 centimetres equals 7.4 kilometres. And then we noticed that halve it. Happy? Well done.